Okay, um, Visual Arts 2, you've been working with one point perspective. You've created 8 boxes in one point perspective. You created a word in one point perspective. And now you are getting ready to create a cityscape in one point perspective. Now you have two choices in creating a cityscape. The first choice in creating a cityscape is to do it as from like a bird's eye view. So imagine a bird flying over top of a city and what that view would look like if it looked down at that cityscape and it will see it in one point perspective. So there it is. You know, you have your buildings. All right, so those buildings don't have to be just simply squares and rectangles, but very similar to when you did your 8 boxes, you have um, your one point perspective cityscape. In your cityscapes, you're going to get your 9 by 12 drawing paper. You have pencils, you have rulers. The drawing is going to demonstrate contour only, so no value, no shading, okay, just line. You need to have at least 6 buildings. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 buildings here. You need to have at least 6. Now, because you're making these up, I don't want just basic buildings, so I want to see variations to your buildings. Here's what I mean by variation. This is just a square and this is a rectangle. There's no variation in those buildings. But this one has like a little extra little shape on it. That's a variation. This one having that little extra shape or his little extra shape is a variation. Uh, a circle or an oval being your building, so the building is curved, is a variation. You can include curves and straight lines, or it can be interesting polygon shape for your roof. Okay. Once you have that created, you also need to include streets. So all the way down at the bottom of this, you have streets, and of course that'll include like little blocks. And like inside of these little blocks, it could be like the grass. I got a little tree right here. I can put another little tree right here because I got this little grassy area. Um, you can include sidewalks if you want to include sidewalks on your little blocks. You can double that line up, put little squares in it, make that be your sidewalk. And also in each building, you should include things like windows. I call it windows, doors, and add-ons. All right, so windows. If I want to add a window, and let's say I'm just going to use this building as an example. If I want to add windows to this, and here's my vanishing point here, I would just simply come in here with my ruler and start adding in. The first thing I would do is kind of line up where I want those windows to be located. So here's the windows. I'm going to kind of create a big rectangle in this. So I'm going to start here, line my ruler up with the little mark I made here. I have another little mark on this side, so I'm going to line my ruler up, my vanishing point up with that, with my ruler, create that line. And at the very top, I want to put another vertical, or in this case, vertical line. Depending on which way I'm turning, it could be a horizontal line. All right, and let's end those windows here. Let's add that in. Okay, and now in that space, I may want to put extra stripes, so I'm going to kind of put some lines in. And so I made little dots that I can use to line up with my vanishing point so I can make evenly made stripes. And those are going to represent my windows. So here's the first one, go to my second point, each one lining up with the vanishing point. And then I can come back and create my verticals or my horizontals. All right, so there's some windows on that side of the building, and you kind of add different type of designs or patterns to create your windows. Okay, maybe it's only vertical lines, but these are some things. So windows, doors. Maybe down here I create like a little small little door. All right, so it's really far away, so it'll be pretty small. The other things is add-ons. All right, so add-ons. Think about the rooftop of your building. All right, so when you look at the rooftop of your building, maybe instead of it being just a smooth rooftop, usually they have like little areas. So if I want to create those little areas, I may come on the inside of here and create kind of a ledge on the inside of my roof. And so I'm just going to go on the inside of this roof and kind of create that area. So I'm going to start by just kind of giving it a border, almost as if somebody was walking on the ledge of the roof. So still using the same roof and just kind of rotating it around. Back to the original location. Alright, so I have that in there, and I may not want to make it too deep, but I'm going to use these corners in perspective to make it look like it's going in. So I'm going to line this up again with my vanishing point. And I'm going to add these two lines in. So I'm going to flip this around. Again, I'm going to make this parallel line. So now when I look at the roof here, it looks like that it actually sticks up on the roof, okay? Which means that it could be like a little area where you have to enter the roof area. And sometimes you have these little like little cubes or little shapes that kind of protrude up in here. So I'm going to create one of those little shapes. And it's very small. You can use your ruler to make sure this is exact, but I'm kind of freehanding it because it is a very small area. So this would be where you get roof access. And again, I'm going to put that in using my vanishing point. And I want to keep that line about the same length as what I have in the corner there. Still using my vanishing point. And there is my roof access. Okay, and that could include other things like antennas. Or other little pipes or whatever I want to put on the roof as well. And again, those still will be going to the vanishing point. So see, that's not super hard to do, but that's what I consider an add-on. So again, as you're creating this is the bird's eye view. Okay. The other one that you can look at will be the street level eye view. And so this one, you have your horizon line, your vanishing point is here, and you're looking, it's like you're looking down the street and you have your buildings here. Now this one is relatively easy because everything will be on your eye level, so you don't see the bottom of any buildings, and mostly you don't see the top of any buildings because usually they're above your eye level. Unless you have a building like this one where you can actually see the top of these little areas because they're below your eye level. In this case, your doors are much larger because you're kind of on the street level. Okay, and in this case, again, you still have at least 6 buildings. So I have 1, 2, 3 buildings, 4, 5, 6, 7 buildings. Again, I have more than 6. And then I can use variation. So when I do my windows, I have sidewalks. I can actually have the street and actually have those details. And again, I can also add add-ons to my buildings. And so from the street level, the add-on will be things like these little protrusions of little boxes that may stick out here. It could be a little extra streetways and how you do the windows and things on these buildings as well. So again, if you were putting windows, say, on the front side of this, okay, what I would do is start nearest to you, and you put like a dot for the top of your window, maybe a dot for the bottom of your window. And I'm just going to put like a window on this. So I'm going to use the vantage point and the bottom dot, and I want to stop it there. I'm going to use the vanishing point and the top dot. So I create the top and bottom. Of course, then there'll be just a vertical line here and a vertical line here, making sure it's parallel to the vertical lines of the side of the building. And this is a window that's on the building. So then I can go inside of that, and just like we did when we were adding a border, I'm going to add a border in, again, using my vanishing point. Using my vanishing point. And so there's your windows there. And depending on how many horizontals I want, I usually double them up. But I'm kind of going through and making dots. And I'm going to zoom in on this so you can see what that looks like on that window. So I kind of went through and I made like little double dots. Alright, because these are going to be my horizontal lines that's going to separate these two areas into little smaller windows. So each little dot, I'm just going to line up with my vanishing point. So there's my vanishing point here. Here's my little dots. So I'm just going to kind of start from the top and work my way down, line it up with the vanishing point. And since I do know that it's going to line up on both sides, I'm just going to go ahead and knock out both sides and just stop in the middle section and rotate down. And so there it is. There's the first one. And I'm just going to keep going down with all my dots and doing each section. Make sure you don't let your ruler slide on you. And there you have it. Zoom back out, and I have put a window on that side. Okay, so that's the street level and the bird's eye level. Okay, there you go.